Hi, I'm Nathan Bennett and I run LemonAide. You may be a tax accountant or bookkeeper or lawyer and have been sent this video about how we may be able to help some of your clients that are struggling, or even those clients that you don't know what to do with. And so they're gathering dust on their files in the back corner. So let me introduce you to LemonAide and why I set up LemonAide. So I set up LemonAide because I wanted to be the aid to businesses when the business finds themselves as a bit of a lemon. And so hence the name. So what I found, and the reason I set up LemonAide, was because there's a bit of a knowledge gap between accountants and insolvency practitioners. And look, that's nobody's fault. When you're at uni or when you're doing your CA, CPA or IPA, you may have only done 1 week total about insolvency. And so you may have been told in that that the definition of insolvency is when a company can't pay its debts as and when they fall due, and your onus as the tax agent or tax accountant or bookkeeper or lawyer is to send that company immediately to a liquidator. And that's completely true. We also find that there's a bit of a gap in the market between the information that a liquidator who is going to be appointed to that company can actually provide to the director. Liquidators definitely cannot provide personal advice to the director about how a liquidation is going to affect their personal asset position or the director personally. And so what we found is that directors did not understand the implications of putting a company into liquidation. And so we wanted people to make an informed decision about their options when they have debt issues. And we wanted people to make that informed decision based upon holistic advice. So not standalone advice about the debt issues within the company, but based upon the actions or inactions of the director and how that liquidation may affect them personally and how creditors may be able to pursue them personally. And we wanted to do all of this in a compassionate and non-judgmental manner. So we didn't want to shame anybody into anything. We just wanted to highlight all of their options and that liquidation may not be the end of their business. So who am I? Well, as I said, my name is Nathan Bennett, and I hold an advanced certificate in insolvency with ARETA. And so ARETA is the top membership body for liquidators and bankruptcy trustees. I'm a former member of the Institute of Public Accountants. I hold a Bachelor of Business. I've got 17 years experience as an insolvency accountant working for Australian liquidators and bankruptcy trustees. So I understand very well how debt works and how debt can be intertwined between a person, personally, being a director, and their company. And so look, I've really seen it all. And so nothing actually surprises me. So let me show you how LemonAide works and the difference that we can make for your clients. So I'll do that through a case study in where I was referred to a cleaning company in Sydney by their accountant. Now, the structure of the company was the husband was the sole director of the company, and the company had not lodged a BAS in over 2 years. They'd also failed to lodge a tax return since 2017. And so when we got involved, it was already 2021. So look, this is the asset and liability position of the company. So there's some motor vehicles, some cleaning equipment, a little bit of office equipment. And when we look at office equipment, it's really minimal, a few intangible assets, again, very minimal. And then you've obviously got finance companies against the motor vehicles. Got some super long service leave wages. and some debts owing to the ATO for GST and PAYG. So totaling $391,000 worth of debt in that company. Now, really want to highlight the superannuation and the debts owed for GST and PAYG to the ATO. And because the BAS hadn't been lodged in over 2 years, the director was going to be liable for all the PAYG and then a portion of the GST personally. He was also going to be liable for the superannuation because he did have 12 employees in that company. So the director personally, he also owed quite a lot of money through personal guarantees for the vehicles, as well as the director penalty notice that we knew was coming. He also had nearly $100,000 worth of credit card debt. And so what he'd been doing was paying one credit card with another credit card with another credit card. And he was using that money to prop up his business. He also had a property in Peru with a little bit of equity in it. And so when we were speaking to him, we were talking about how we could save his business. And so one thing that we proposed was to restructure the business of that company. Now, I'm not going to go through how we do that, but I'm going to tell you the way that we do that is legal, it's ethical, it's not an illegal Phoenix transaction. And so because it's not a legal Phoenix transaction, it's not going to be undone by a future appointed liquidator. The main benefit of restructuring and us helping this client restructure the business was that the director got to maintain control of that business throughout the entire process. So the business, through the way that we restructure, only pays for what the business is truly worth. And so the upside of utilizing a restructure and not going down the voluntary administration or small business restructure path is that the fate of the business was not dictated to by creditors. So through voluntary administration and the small business restructure, creditors vote on whether they're going to accept the proposals put up by the director. And so often you'll find that creditors will want more money. And so the director is paying for a business a lot more money than what that business is actually worth. But we don't want to kick the can down the road. We only do a restructure for a client once and once only. And so before we even begin, we make sure that the business is going to be viable long term. So what was our involvement at LemonAide with our client? So we managed the restructure process from start to finish. We introduced him to professionals that they needed to help with that restructure process. We recommended services to ensure that the new company was profitable. And then we assisted the director to get the old company ready for liquidation. And when the time was right, the director then put the company into liquidation. We assisted the director with the preparation of documents for liquidation, and we answered with the director's assistance the questions from the liquidator that they were asking. Now, remember back when I said that the director had $100,000 personally in credit card debts? He also had 5 children, and so that's a large family. And when we discussed this with the director, we pointed out that with all of these large amounts of debt, which is almost $200,000 worth of debt, he wouldn't jump over that in 10 years. And so we recommended to him to go down the bankruptcy part to deal with those debts in the next 3 years. So we helped retain in the family the personal assets. And there is a way to do that that is legal, that is ethical, and that is not going to be undone by a future appointed bankruptcy trustee. So we helped that director with his bankruptcy. We helped him by preparing the documents in conjunction with him. We also answered the questions of the bankruptcy trustee, again, in conjunction with the director, because we realized that we're not able to hide the director from a bankruptcy trustee or a liquidator, and nor do we purport to do so in any way, shape, or form. By actually utilizing our services, we make sure that our clients will deal with their bankruptcy in time and not run away from the fear that is associated around that. And so by facing up to their obligations, which is what we help them do, they'll be out in 3 years. They'll be able to start rebuilding their financial future within the 3 years. And so we also help with the yearly income questionnaire that comes from a bankruptcy to the director. So where's that company now? Well, the company went from $391,000 in debt to making more than $12,000 in profit after the bills were accounted for or paid since 1 February 2022. So the business is able to go forward and generate some great profits even after the liquidation of the old company has occurred. So how do we work? Well, we will do an hour telephone Zoom consult with your client. We're happy to have a chat with them. And in that consult, we gather some information from them about their unique circumstances. During that conversation, we will give them some tips and advice. We will find out if they are clients that are suited for LemonAide, and not everybody is suited to LemonAide. And we recognize that. If they're not a client for LemonAide, we'll let you know, and we will forward them on to someone that may be able to help them better than what we can. If requested by the client, we'll write a fully costed proposal about their unique situation on that holistic basis. That proposal will detail where they are now, where they want to go, and how we can actually help them get there. It also details our fees and as well other professionals' fees that are going to be needed to deal with their debt issue. And that proposal does come at a cost, but that cost will be taken off the final bill of our clients if they choose to utilize LemonAide. Now, we recognize that advice is just part of the puzzle. We really want to be holding hands of clients and walking them through the strategy that we've actually laid out for them. So how do we help clients and what services do we offer? Well, we showed you the restructure with a liquidation at the end. We also do restructures without an insolvency event at the end. We help people that have put their company into liquidation already or put themselves into bankruptcy already. We talk about corporate asset structuring as well as personal asset structuring, turnaround management, and of course, we do some debt negotiation and look at settling people's debts. So look, I thank you for your time. Thank you for watching the video. My email is on the slide as well as my phone number. So if you have clients that are struggling with debt, that have viable businesses, if there was no debt surrounding that business, then we're happy to have a chat with them. So I hope you found what we do and what we offer really informative. And I look forward to talking to you or helping your clients soon. Have a great day.